A lot of people I talk to like whole life insurance, but they don't like the idea of being locked into a high premium. So, someone I recently met with sold a piece of property and they bought a big whole life insurance policy, but they expressed that they feel locked into this high premium. So, they started a policy last year in their early 60s. In the first year, they started with a lump sum of $100,000, and their plan is to fund $50,000 per year for the next 9 years. That gets a total of $550,000 into the policy. Now, after starting, we reviewed the policy, and the things they expressed that they don't like are as follows. The first year, they have a loss of about 25%, meaning 100K went in and their cash value is about $75,000. The break-even point, which is when they finally get their money back and start to see a gain on the cash value, meaning more in cash value than what they've paid in, occurs between 8 and 9 years. And the big pain point is the required minimum premium is about $33,000. And to make things a little bit worse, this is for the husband. You can double all of this because the wife did the exact same thing. Her minimum premium is about $30,000 instead of $33,000, but you can double all of the numbers. So, what do you do to fix a case like this? Well, fortunately, we did catch this very, very early. So, there's several options to fix, but I'll cover two. The first, you can keep your funding exactly the same, meaning keep the plan of funding 100K in the first year the same, and then the second through the 10th year, 50K per year the same, which gives you a total out of pocket of 550. But what we would do differently is reduce the required premium, specifically the base premium. That is the most important thing to do. That's one option. Another option, if you don't like the idea of funding a policy for 10 years, is you can accelerate the funding. So what that means is instead of 10 years, if you have the cash on hand, that's a big if, fund it in 4 years. And you could do 4 level payments. If you like the idea of getting a large lump sum in to accelerate the upfront cash value, you could do something like this. 175 in the first year, and then the second through the fourth year, 125 per year. Same total funding of $550,000. So let's take a look at the actual numbers. What we'll start with is what they were sold. So we'll just look at the husbands. They were sold a policy with Penn, and they felt locked into a high premium. They lost 25% of their first year payment, and it took 8 to 9 years just to get their money back. So here's a breakdown of where the money is going. In blue, you see the net out of pocket on an annual basis, annual funding. But to the left, in red, shows the required minimum premium. And in purple, we've got the paid up additions rider, or PUA payment. That's what accelerates your cash value growth. So 100 goes in, and the first year cash value is just about 75%, $74,811. Okay. So you've got that high premium of 33, 25% loss in the first year, and then by the 8th year, the total out of pocket is 450, the cash value is 441. Finally, by the 9th year, where your total out of pocket is 500, your cash value is just over 505. 9 years in. Just to see a gain, it's also worth noting he'll be 70 years old at this point in time. Why they're putting money here is to grow their cash value. If it takes 9 years just to get your money back, that's tough. I get all the additional benefits, but that is very, very challenging. I'd have a hard time putting my money here if my purpose was to use the cash value for opportunities. Like, why am I going to run a loss for that long? So here's what we looked at. Penn is not the best company for lump sum payments. when you look at them and just what their products offer compared to other companies, that's not their strong suit. So what we looked at were a couple options, but we focused on Guardian here. So option one was to carry the exact same plan forward, but reduce the required premium. So what we did here, out of pocket is exactly the same, but of that $100,000, the lowest I was able to drive the premium to was about $7,200. And for all of my insurance friends out there, that includes the base plus the term insurance rider. So that is the all-in minimum cost. So $7,200 minimum. There's my PUA payment. There's my first year cash value. 90% right out of the gates. So instead of a 10% loss, instead of a 25% loss, I've got a 10% loss. And when do I get my money back? Fourth year, where my total out of pocket is $250, and I'm at $251, almost $252. So we've also accelerated the break-even point, so I see a return on my cash value much earlier. And when I compare the two side by side, I'll see a big gap in overall cash value and death benefit performance for that matter. The key difference here, by the way, is the design. That is the key difference, meaning I can make this Guardian illustration look identical or very, very close to identical to the Penn Mutual illustration by increasing the base premium. That's the difference here. When you lower the premium, more of our money goes toward PUAs, which accelerates the cash value. It also gives them a ton of flexibility. That's the key, because now they're only billed for this, and PUAs can be added whenever they want. They don't have to hit the numbers you see in blue here. It's up to them. They can add at their discretion, making the policy feel more like a flexible savings asset. And then if they like the idea of moving it into the policy faster, well, here you go. So same product here with Guardian, but what do you notice? Well, here we are accelerating the funding. You get a total of $550 in, but over 4 years. As a result, that minimum did come up quite a bit. The all-in minimum is about $14K in this example, but we also fund it for a very short period of time. After 4 years, you have funded $550. You have more than $550 in cash value. You do have the option to continue to pay the premium, continue to add PUAs, which allows you to keep feeding the beast if you wanted to accelerate that cash value growth. But if you don't, it keeps on growing. And again, this is just for the husband, where the wife had the exact same situation. The last thing that I might look at for these two, depending on how important the death benefit is for both of them, meaning if one dies, the death benefit goes to the other. If they said, hey, that's not a big concern, we've got assets where one of us will be fine if the other goes, I might look at a survivorship policy for them as well, just based on the fact that they are in their 60s and cash accumulation is the goal. That could be another way to keep the overall premium even lower and stuff the cash value in a shorter period of time. But that would just be an idea that I would propose to them if they decided to explore that route. Anyway, to go back to her concern, she bought a whole life insurance policy. She's locked into a big premium, took a big upfront loss, and it took 9 years just to get her money back, or the husband's money back. Hers took 8 years. How do you prevent that? Key, reduce the base premium. That is the main thing. If you're told you can't do that, or this is as low as this insurance company will allow you to go, I would ask, is that the case with all insurance products with that company? What about other companies? If you hear, well, you don't want to do that because of yada, 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 still ask. It's good to see it, because when people always have buyer's remorse is when they get a policy and then find out after the fact something's better based on what they see, not just what they hear. As human beings, we see what we believe more so than just hearing it. So I would always ask to see it. That will help prevent buyer's remorse. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun putting this one together. I'd love to hear any comments or thoughts. Please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And as always, I hope this helps. So if this was helpful and you'd like to go deeper, here's what I would do next. Step 1, download the free case study using the link below. It'll make everything we talk about feel more concrete because you'll see actual numbers on paper. And step 2, if you're serious about a high cash value life insurance policy for yourself, whether it's for your business, real estate, or you're just looking at a safe place to save money with tax benefits, I'd use the calendar link on that page to book a custom policy design session. On that call, we'll ask a few simple questions about your situation. We'll go over an illustration with you on the spot, and we'll walk through the year-by-year numbers so you can decide if it makes sense for you. No pressure, just math and options. And if you just want to keep learning for now, feel free to subscribe and check out the other case studies on the channel. As always, I hope this helps.